Let's get to Brighton now. One man who's been linked with a move away from the club after winning the World Cup is midfielder Alexis Mac Allister. He's been speaking to Paul Gilmore about his future.
Paul Barber has spoken about that he's realistic enough to know that he might get a few knocks on the door about players at Brighton because you're doing so well. How will you react if that day, when that day comes, and how do you combine that with your kind of love of playing for this club in Brighton and how good this team is?
Yeah, I'm focused in Brighton. They know how grateful I am with this club, and I don't have any rush to leave. I'm really happy here. I enjoy every day. So yeah, I'm just focusing in Brighton, and I will do my best tomorrow.
That's Alexis Mac Allister. I think the kind of answer that you expect to a question.
World champion, you know.
We have actually, we've just heard from the Brighton manager, Roberto De Zerbi, as well. A member of the transfer team, James Savundra, has just been speaking to him. And Roberto De Zerbi says it is best for Alexis Mac Allister to stay at Brighton this month. And De Zerbi suggests it can be a problem for him to leave during this window following the World Cup exploit. So there's some reaction there from De Zerbi. But he really stood out at the World Cup for you, Kevin. Was that a surprise at how much he shone? Because I think everyone realised that he's a good player, but he really shone in a team that won the World Cup.
Yeah, it was a surprise how much of a leading role he played, maybe, but that midfield complemented each other so well. We've spoken about Enzo Fernandez. Rodrigo de Paul was doing all of Lionel Messi's running for him, and what it allowed was Alexis Mac Allister to show the technical quality that he has. I mean, you think of that breakaway goal that Angel Di Maria finished off in the World Cup final. The quality of that cross is incredible. Like, every time you watch it, it gets better. We've seen him score some magnificent goals for Brighton, some goals that got ruled out that would have been like goal of the season, but he didn't have them because of an offside or an infringement or whatever. He's a quality player. What's interesting about this is that I think working with De Zerbi for another few months, I think could improve him even more as a player, because I think De Zerbi has a different way of playing, has quite a specific way of playing, and I think to work with him for a while it has got to be good for a player. Brighton aren't fools. This is what they do. They specialise in, you know, buying low and selling high, and they're very, very good at it.
Yeah.
So the gamble they've got to take is, do they invite offers now where you get a massive chunk of money for him, or do you let it run to the end of the season and risk an injury or risk a loss of form or whatever? So that's the tightrope they have to walk.
Well, Brighton extended his contract just before the World Cup.
Yeah.
Could be prove to be their best deal of.
They knew.
Of the next few months.
Well, that's the thing. Kevin's right, Kwaku, that Brighton buy low, sell high. This is the highest his value has certainly ever been. Whether it goes up or not, we don't know. It could test their resolve if there is a big bid.
Yeah, but the word is resolve, and Brighton have got that. They plan for the future, and they're not just going to react. It's not going to be a knee-jerk reaction when it comes to Alexis Mac Allister. They've got a long-term plan. They probably know that in the summer it's going to be difficult to keep hold of him, especially if he replicates the form from the World Cup and also from before the World Cup as well. But he's a player that was eased into the fold at Brighton, and he owes them a huge load of debt, really, because of how he's developed there. So I can see him staying this January. It's going to be difficult to keep him beyond this month.
Okay, yeah, so many players have stood out from the World Cup, him being one of them.